what has my relationship been with creativity? What is creativity? What makes someone be creative or be a creative person or artist? How can we tap into our creativity? How can we unlock it if we feel like it's not accessible to us or it's not part of our identity of who we are? I have been through my own journey with this, which I've shared a little bit about on Instagram on a post, and a few people really resonated with it. And so I wanted to expand on my story and share on how I tapped into my creativity and how you can tap into yours. My story. How did I get here? It's a loaded question. When I was younger, in high school, I would say, around that time, I was in a special type of high school program where it was ultra creative. They really formatted it to really pull out as much creativity in us as they could. And I'm so grateful, thank you Mom, for putting me in that program, because it was actually a very, very unique way of learning that was multi-layered and dynamic. In that program, there were so many ultra creative students that were amazing with writing or painting or drawing or speaking or just really fucking smart. And I always knew intellectually I was very smart. I was a straight A student. I got good grades. I was really like good at the more, let's say, masculine and logic side of my brain. My left brain, I think that's right. My left brain was really good. That part was getting, finely sharpened and chiseled. And all throughout high school and after high school, I thought, fuck, like, I'm not a creative person. Like, I'm not one of those people that's just naturally creative and has all these ideas flowing through me and can create all this beautiful artwork. I just didn't think I was it. And I held that as my identity for a long time, for many years, until what started to shift for me first, I think, is I started to explore creativity in different ways, but not consciously. I wasn't like, okay, I'm being creative now. It was more so I was just following my passions, and to be completely honest, I was following my friends. And like their passions and artistry naturally would rub off onto me, and I learned a lot from them as well. And then later in life, I started working at this amazing, epic store in Vancouver called Dank Mart. And it's a candy shop that completely changed my whole life. Partly being because all of my coworkers and the people that I was surrounded by were highly creative beings, and also entrepreneurs. So, which also is a creative energy. When I started working there and just being absorbed in that energy, it started to unlock something for me. And I started to dive deeper into my own creative passion around the same time that I started on the OnlyFans platform. And from there, my creativity started to grow and grow. Where goddess consciousness fits into this is when I started to learn and dive into the different stories and teachings of the goddesses. That's when it really started to open for me. Through that, I learned that there are so many expressions of the divine feminine, so many different ways that she wants to move and be, and that creativity is an extremely feminine energy. What I mean by that is we have masculine energy and feminine energy. Masculine is more of the structured, strong, let me just use an analogy, it might be easier. My friend shared this with me and I thought it was a beautiful way to explain this. So you have a river. The rocks that line the river bed is the masculine energy. They hold space. They create the space and hold the container. And it very much has the components and textures of how a rock is strong and it's sure and it's that holding energy, whereas the feminine is the water itself that flows through, and that is sometimes, depending on the river, sometimes it's calm and moving, sometimes it's rapid and rushing and alive and chaotic and unpredictable, but it's always moving. So that's the best way I can describe feminine and masculine energy through that example. And so the creative energy is more of that fluid energy that's constantly moving and dancing. So when I started to tap into these divine feminine archetypes and wisdom, I started to understand that more. And I think for me as a woman, it was so much more natural for me to make the goddess as a whole, divine feminine, my muse. See myself as a muse through her. Meaning that when I create as if I am worshiping and devoting myself to the divine feminine or to the divine. When I am creating art using my body, I am seeing myself as her, as the goddess, as that muse. So it's either she is my muse externally that I'm kind of projecting my art onto, or I'm embodying her and making myself the muse. Now my whole life has shifted when I'm now perceiving my reality from this new concept and way of being, as fully embracing and seeing myself as this divine feminine embodiment, because that is what I am, and that is what you are as well. Even if you're a man or a woman, non-binary, trans, anything, you have that divine feminine energy within you, and just depending on your flavor of expression, part of it will be more outwardly expressed or not. So I am a woman I identify as a woman in a female body with a womb and a yoni and breasts. So for me, naturally, my feminine energy is very strong, and it's something that has grown a lot over time and has become stronger over time. Actually, I've gotten feedback from this recently that, wow, like your feminine energy is just so strong, it's so obvious. And that's because I've nurtured it, I've nourished it, I've fed that part of myself that wants to be in that juicy, creative, vibrant flow of her river. And so that's why now, for me, creativity is not just something that I want to tap into. It is me. It is how I am. It is the energy that animates my whole being and moves me, kind of like generates my energy. Creative energy is our life force energy. It is our sexual energy. All of these things are synonymous for the same concept, which means that it is the same flow. It's the same essence that flows through everything that is alive. It is the undercurrent of all of creation. This creative life force energy that is created in the lower areas of our body, our womb space, our sacral, our genital area. That's where this energy lives and regenerates from, moves from. One of the key things for me that unlocked my connection to my creative energy was actually accepting and diving into my sexuality. This is a connection that isn't obviously linked in the wider mass collective. This connection isn't as pronounced. that our creative life force energy is directly linked to our relationship with our sexuality. And this is something that they cannot be separate. They are together. So living from this place, I see my life as the artwork itself. I see my existence as my medium, meaning that I want to infuse as much vibrancy, creativity, passion, and love into everything, into every bucket into my life, whether that be relationships, creation like this, my work, my family, how I see my body, all of it. I want it to all be infused with this flavor of love. Now I just see the beauty in everything. And that is part of what living a life of intention is, and what living like a goddess is about. It's about having that awareness that we are constantly creating or co-creating this mosaic of experiences and perceptions that formulates our life story or our life expression. Know that you have this capacity for creativity and creative expression designed into your being. There is no world where you exist without it. Maybe there is, but in this world, there's no world where you exist without it. Know that. Know that it is within you. It just maybe is blocked. Maybe it's blocked right now. And so maybe your journey is finding out what those things are that are blocking that expression, and curiously and diligently, softly and compassionately unwinding, unraveling, opening your heart, your sacral, so you can have a free flow of creativity surging through your body. Just like a stream, sometimes there will be blocks. Maybe there was a storm and it pushed the rocks into the stream, and now you have a block. And so your creative energy can't flow. It's stuck right now. What can you do to remove those blocks? As humans, and especially as women, our bodies operate in these cyclical patterns. And so know that sometimes you will be blocked. Sometimes you'll be open. And sometimes it will change. And just know that if you feel stuck, if you feel like you're in a rut, you feel like something's wrong with you because you don't have the same energy that you did a year ago, a month ago, it's okay. It's totally normal. This phase that you're in is totally normal. The first step is just to recognize that you're in a bit of a rut, and that's okay. And then have the knowing that you have the capacity to get out of it, to not be in it anymore. Why? Because maybe you've been in that place once before, or maybe you've never had, but you're hearing stories like this and you see, okay, it's possible for me. So ride the wave of whatever point you're on. You know, whether you're up right now and you're feeling the fire, you're feeling the energy, ride that wave. But know that at some point, it will go down. And if you're at the bottom, hold on, don't give up. And know that in time, with intention, with action, with trust, you will start to go back up as well, and your energy will begin to flow and flourish, and you will have that passion and drive again. To all my creative beings watching this, which is all of you, hold on, no matter where you are in this journey. But don't hold on too tight that you can't let go and surrender to whatever it is, wherever you are in your journey right now. If you are feeling stuck, if you're feeling uninspired, surround yourself with inspiration. This is advice that I give to my friends as well. If you feel like stuck, if you feel like you're not somewhere where you want to be, your outside environment is a reflection of your inside environment. And when you feel those dark, not dark necessarily, but if you're feeling that like angst and feelings on the inside and you don't know how to shift that, well, you want to start from the inside out, but sometimes you can also start from the outside in, priming your environment for a space that feels activating to the parts of you that you want to get in touch with. So if that is your creativity, how can you shift parts in your environment, whether that be things that are like simple, lighting a candle, lighting incense, putting on high vibrational music, being conscious of the words and media that you ingest, the creators that you listen to and that you follow. If you're reading, if you're watching movies or TV, just take account into what information you're ingesting into your system, because that is going to affect your mind and your body and your expression. So get inspired. That is definitely one of my biggest advice pieces, is to get inspired. The second one would be to be compassionate towards yourself. Be self-compassionate. It's okay. Where you are is okay. And this is life. These are the waves of life. If we didn't have the dark points, we would never feel the highs. We can't have the highs without the lows. And just accepting that paradox of duality can make the low points pass with more ease and less self-deprecation, I want to say is the word. Take a breath. Let's take a breath now. Number 3. Take a breath. My next piece of advice is, don't be afraid to reach out to people. Don't be afraid to reach out to people that either can support you during this time emotionally, just share what you're feeling and what you're going through, and reach out to people that are in similar like-minded fields as you, so that maybe you can get inspired by them directly. Maybe you can offer some help. A lot of the times we want to attach ourselves to people that are doing great things, so it kind of pulls us up along the way, which I think is amazing. But also, how can it be a more equal energy exchange with that person? So maybe offer your help, offer something that makes you feel like you're a part of something that's bigger than you. When you feel like you're a part of something that's bigger than you, that's when you have more of that heart-centered drive to really get it going. And there's a lot of bits that go into that, but I would say, yeah, definitely connect yourself with people that bring that out of you and create that opportunity to offer your energy and time for something that you really care about, and see how that creates a lot of shift in your life. So my loves, I send you all my love. I send you a big juicy hug. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, comment. Tell me where you're at in your journey. Where in the wave are you right now? Are you riding high, vibing, having a good time, on fire? Or are you low, little drained, depleted? Where are you on that wave? And how can you honor it? I love you so much. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.
Oh,